All right, guys. Welcome here to another session, another book review. And like always, this is the review and readings of the one and only Toxic Femininity. This is part 4 of the now released book that was released on the 6th of November, 2024. Thank y'all for watching. Like, shout out all the people that caught the replay, gave some comments, some views. And I know this is not very popular because when we talk about looking at literature, any form of literature that really affects the relationship between men and women, is not always considered sexy. Hell, it's downright boring. Let's keep real. But nonetheless, we should look through the literature and look at the information at hand and really have an appreciation what was been studied, written, and well documented to really have a very clear, in-depth analysis about the nature of women, Black women, and any women generally. But really, truly, when we talk about toxicity, it can be deadly if not careful. So, yeah. Just checking all things. If you guys want to support the channel, the links are in the description. and I'll put it in below. And like always, we always try reach a quota when we do these streams. Now, before I begin, let me just do some little housekeeping. So sit back as I look at some things. I might try some new here. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see if that. I never tried, so let me try some music. No. No. Nah. We'll try this one. Let's pause this. This is the music we're gonna use. We're gonna throw some music in the background for the mood. And really, truly, this is something new I never tried before. What's good, bro? I see you in the chat room. And you know, I'm not really a proponent of playing music when I do these things, but we're gonna try some different gentlemen and ladies. See how this goes, you know. And let me make sure everything is sent out. All right, good. From time to time, I'll look at what's going on in the chat room, but most likely I'm not gonna be paying too much attention because I want to get through this. All right. Looks like everything is sent out. I miss anything? And as you know, I'm going to bring back Obsidian back on to talk more about his book. So make sure if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure it's on high notifications because I'm not sure what time I'm going to do it. So that's a little disclaimer. All right, let's run this music and let's begin the stream. Okay. All right. Now, what we're going to cover today, we're going to cover, let's look. We're going to cover chapter 6. And what else? I'm looking at how long these chapters are. And we're also going to cover chapter 7 as well. So that's a roughly 20, almost 20 pages. It's a lot of reading, but can be done, and it will be done. So let's get started, guys. Am I missing anything? Nope, I'm not missing anything. And I might show you what I'm looking at right now for those that will see for yourselves. I'm just trying to make sure someone else is here that I got everything. Okay, looks like I'm good. All right, let's go, guys. I think I got everybody. All right, so let me show you what the chapter we're going to look at for those that don't know. And matter of fact, let me check my end and see how I sound because this is something I'm doing something different. Oh, damn, I did not put it. All right, hold on, let me fix that, guys. Damn it, if I did fix it. Okay, I should be able to see it now. This is
Convert your audio and video files into accurate text transcripts in seconds. Click Turbo Scroll.
okay. You know, I'm going to turn that music down. That music is too loud. I don't want no music too loud in the background. So let me fix this. You know, guys, I'm just fix some things. All right, that's good enough. All right, let's go, guys. That should I should fix that. Let me double check, make sure. I should fix that. Check, make sure. I should fix that. Check, make sure. All right. We'll rock with that for now. All right, let's go. And guys, if you're watching, please hit the like button. Likes are free. And participate in the chat room. I think the chat room should be open. If it's not, let me know. All right, where am I? Where's the chapter? Make sure. Let me check, make sure. Chapter 6. And this is titled. Why is that coming up? All right. Chapter 6. And let me show you what chapter I'm talking about. So I don't leave you guys in the dark. This is chapter 6. The so-called Queenmaker is caught cold busted. We have met the enemy and she is us. That's the chapter. So let's look into this. No book can or should be written about modern Black feminism without at least one chapter being devoted to one Miss Priscilla Clark, all known over the past years or two as so-called Queen Maker. Okay. For about a year or so, Clark has made something of a stir on Black social media, particularly TikTok, YouTube, and was being hailed as the female Kevin Samuels for acclaimed deliveries of dispassionate facts about all of the foibles, or what they call fibbles, of Black men. Clark was keen to take gratuitous potshots at Kevin Samuels, Passport Bros, and the whole of the Black Master. In her own book, The Game, 41 Shades of Men, the pursuit of subduing and using you. Subdue and use you. Now, everybody must know you're supposed to be used. As much as that sounds kind of effed up, but you are. I'm not sure of anything in life or any existence that you're just here just to be here loafing, sitting down on your butt and being procrastinating. No, you should be used like anything else. And people tell you otherwise, they're lying to you. Get off Fantasy World. Get off My Little Pony. Get off Black Little Princess. Get off Little Mermaid. Get off. And I mean get off. Real Housewives of all those cities. Those ratchet TV shows that y'all watch, ladies. Stop it. All right. I read the book and review large passage of it on my live show on YouTube. Suffice it to me say that as a bestseller author in my own right, and therefore a peer to Clark, I was not impressed. Perhaps the best known of these facts is the idea that men cannot love women for a multitude of biological, psychological, and sociological factors. Priscilla did a masterful job of blending a hedgehog of sociology, psychology, biology, and street pimpnology with a healthy dash of metaphysical mumbo jumbo to make it all sound good and convincing to the still but her unsuspected dope that are the majority of her Black female audience. And while earlier Priscilla was a copy with her Endgame, by the time the summer of 2023 hit, she was finally ball out with her agenda to get black women away from black men wholesale and to guide them into relationships with other black women, like herself, of course. Yeah, they want to engage in licky acts we call licky girl. As it turns out, she wouldn't have to wait very long for perhaps her most famous victim to date. We have to put it that way since we have good reasons to believe that B. Taylor certainly was the first, nor will she be the last. While Priscilla attempts to avoid some of the better thinking denies of the Black Master, focusing her attention on lesser minds, her act slowly starts to catch up with her when she finally squares off against the likes of the Angerman, Myron Gaines, Fresh and Fit, Fame, and the Saint and the Sinner. The Saint and the Sinner. And even Charleston White. All of whom handily demolished. They actually put the coffin on her, actually not demolished her in open and fair debates. One would think that this L's and serious sitback alone would be enough to make Clark take a powder, but like so many charlatans and empty lace front wigs we've seen in the past, Priscilla just did not know when to stop or really tap out. Really, this song or the saying goes, tap out, tap out, tap out, tap out, tap out. Caught up in the celebrity, this is being internet famous these days. Priscilla kept on with her Sipel appeal on any platform that would have her with a large following and lots of clicks and views. Her state goals to undermine the Black Master and particularly to upstage the late great Kevin Samuels is a matter of public record. Though it is telling, though not at all surprising, that Priscilla wasn't man enough to face Kevin when he still was alive. Like her modern black female or black feminist sisters, she never pulled up on his live show, waiting instead for him to die before coming out with both barrel blazing, strong and independent rights. What she don't plan for, though, is a possibility that she would be undone by her own hand. What they call megalomaniacs. Big and small never do. And that is exactly what happened on Monday, April 29th, 2024. I think that was like 7 months ago. When one Miss B. Taylor, a single mom of 2 boys by choice, with different baby daddies who work in the media world by day and work her YouTube channel by night, and was until very recently Priscilla main squeeze took to the live stream to tell her tale of surviving Priscilla, with following black men ain't shit. YouTuber Yanni Red in toes for emotional support, Miss Taylor began what would eventually turn out to be a nearly 3.5 hour long tale of emotional, verbal, and psychological abuse at the hand of Priscilla, whom, according to Taylor, pursued the latter with a tenacity that would be roundly condemned if a brother had done it. Take a break. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Make sure you guys like the stream because I'm not looking back and forth for this. Let me refresh this. Hold on, guys. That's good. All right, let's keep going, guys. And let me refresh this. And if you guys like the stream, please hit the like button. Likes are free. All right, let's keep reading. It started off with a staged gambit to lure Taylor away from the Black Master involving Pimp P making it rain, a smiling B Taylor, and showing the brothers up. Priscilla's next move was to take Taylor out on a date, or a de facto date, where she didn't waste any time getting physical, going so far as to get on bend knee to give Taylor feet rubs, sensational massage, in full view of her patron, and of course with Priscilla's young daughter in tow. Oh wow. Yeah. Taylor would go on to give a vivid account of Priscilla's mood swing and constant bickering, her tendencies towards whipping her smartphone out and pleasuring herself with X-rated films, and perhaps most disturbingly, how Priscilla threatened to mistreat her daughter she had with her still married husband. And yeah, she's still married, mind you. According to Taylor, the little girl had to sleep on a urinal stained mattress, sleeping during the day instead of attending school, and didn't have a proper bedroom since Priscilla decided to make that room her live stream. That she airs her high power podcast from Taylor and Priscilla seem to have had an on again, off again relationship in makeup to breakup fashion, largely involved lots of intercourse and things never ending and manifold. And y'all know what I mean by intercourse. I don't have to really spell it out for y'all. I don't really have to spell it out for y'all. Really. All right. The last straw was trip out to California early this year, which saw them once again in each other's arms. But when the afterglow wore off, they were at each other's throats despite peace offerings. A chocolate-covered fruit basket on the part of Priscilla Taylor had enough, and she considered the matter done. It was just as well. Priscilla already had another hottie lined up and waiting in the wing, and according to her, was quite younger than Taylor anyway. In the days that would follow B. Taylor bombshell on YouTube, Priscilla was ready herself for her response, which happened on Friday, May the 3rd, 2024, on her High Power Podcast YouTube channel. But instead of directly facing the music, B. Taylor played Priscilla instead appearing with three other Black women, apparently partners of her in an upcoming Black Woman Empowerment Conference. I think she was talking about Nika Cherry. To market and discuss that instead of the heavily claims and charges Taylor brought forward against her, the viewing audience wasn't impressed. After an initial bump of near 2K live views, they slowly trailed off until just below 16,000 by the time it personally logged off for the night. Roughly a little over an hour or so, as I wrote these words in early May 2024, B. Taylor Tales has garnered some almost 56K views, whereas Priscilla Enough is Enough live stream is less than half of that. Oh, ooh. I thought that when Priscilla did that, her stream, it got just as much views because she had almost, she had 80K subscribers. But it was almost catching up there, but still, I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going. None of this will come as any greater shock or surprise to the dozens or deniers of the Black Master. Indeed, we long report the findings now worldwide in scopes about the very high rate of breakups, divorce, infidelities, and just over stripes that occurs in lesbian marriage and relationships. Yeah, they're very rough. Indeed, lesbian pairing encounters troubles at a rate nearly 2.5 times that of a gay male couple and roughly half that of straight or hetero ones. Nearly a decade ago, and while writing for A Voice for Men, I covered a particular notorious instance of black lesbians' love gone horribly wrong in WNBA, Brittany Garner and her first wife, Gloria Johnson. The calm, now a chapter in this book, is included in its page, and I do so not to whip up on the lesbians, but to point out the unflattering realities that such pairing often entails. Priscilla's strategy of hurting and hurt black women into lesbians or bisexual relationships with broken black women like herself. As a response to the supposed mistreatment, black women like B. Taylor unsensibly experience at the hand of black men are believed by the often harassed realities of LGBTQ love. Again, no hate, just the cold, hard facts. Cold blooded. Yet, this is a major part of the modern black feminist agenda, and only the woefully ignorant or willfully obtuse refuse to see that. Priscilla is hugely important here because she is right in line with the efforts and aims of the modern black feminist founders of Black Lives Matter, the founding mothers of the Columbian River Collection, and that of the big three individuals I devote a good amount of space to later on in this book. She apes the language and carries out the actions of the modern black feminist project in our time. Moreover, her masterful use of social media and carefully curtailing a false image and misleading apparel or appearance of masculinity, competence, in feminine form, all aimed at showing the brothers up and making them look a fool, while at the same time making the case to the lovely ladies that they never need such dusty dudes in the first place. They only need themselves. In short, she is modern black feminist personified. Pause. That Priscilla is a walking mass hypocrisy, contradiction, and what appears to be a goodly amount of lies should also not come as any great shock. Not only is all of this part of a parcel of modern black feminism itself, many of its lesbian factors have also been mirrored in much of the same. I detail one very famous autonomous accounts of black feminist mothers, Andre Lordillo, in this book page. I open this chapter with the idea that Priscilla was supposed to be the female Kevin Samuels. The answer to the best of what the Black Master presents to put these sisters in check and bring them to heal. I never bought into the ideal in the first place. It was silly, petty, and the kind of tit for tat stuff that far too many black women are unfortunately known for. But what I will say, Priscilla is the female version of the one and only Derek Jeter, the notorious hypocrite, serial adulteress, and liar, the F-boy, the extraordinary masquerading as equal heart devoted husband, family man, and self-love ambassador. Indeed, Priscilla and Jax have a heck of a lot more in common than either of them ever had with Kevin, with the event of the past week or so bearing themselves out, right down to the cheating, the antics, the behavioral, and the attempt at trying to make their way out of making themselves look a stomped down, hypocritical fool. When Jackson was caught cold busted in the spring of 2021, thanks to the tireless reports on YouTube, gossip, maven Tasha K, he attempts to use that as an opportunity to plug his latest book, Healing Together, which proves rightly to be an embarrassing flop. While Priscilla is noted early attempts to spin her ugly breakup with Beta as a chance to market her empowerment conference as a 2-hour live stream informal. Again, it wasn't as warm received as they might have thought. As is so often the case with more masculine presenting black lesbian like Priscilla, they have taken on the worst element of black male behavior and have aped them to an amazing degree, wrecking lives and breaking hearts at a rate that would make the Jacksons of the world blush. Damn. In so doing, Priscilla demonstrates yet another huge contradiction of modern black feminism in practice. The degree in which she is black male identified, which is said, or which is to say, obsessed with all things black male, again, none of this is surprising when one considers all of the facts laid out above, but what is the degree to which so many black women edged on by modern black feminism, like Feminista Jones, Brittany Cooper, Kimberly Nicole Foster, none of whom had the courage or backbone to face Kevin when he was alive, to seek out something demonstrable, worse in someone so deeply problematic, broken even in a Priscilla Clark, sorry. Kevin so chapted that hides of these lovely ladies that they nurtured their butt hurt for several years after his death and sought out a champion for their get back mission, only for that champion to be their worst nightmare. In final accounts, Priscilla Clark is the biggest F-boy of them all. Well, next to Derek Jackson, that is. And the end notes you can find it once you get the book itself, which is now in stores now. You can purchase it on Amazon and also Book Baby. The link's in the description. Thank you. Now, before going to chapter 7, and let me double check how long chapter 7 is. It's always good to scan for these books. Okay. Make sure you guys like the stream, share the stream, leave comments on your views on the previous chapters of this series. I'm looking forward to reading it. What I mean. I'm going to look at let's look at this. All right. Okay, so let's continue on, and I'm just checking something. One more thing I gotta check. Oh, I did miss this. Okay. All right. All right, let's continue, guys, with chapter 7. Might be linked, but we could do it. And like always, I have to show what is in this chapter for the viewers. As you can tell, chapter 7. What do Cynthia G, deletion, and modern black feminists have in common? It's a good question. What do they have in common? Let's go into it. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. NFL head coach Dennis Green. Following up on the previous chapter regarding the so-called Queenmaker Priscilla Clark, another real-time manifestation of modern Black feminism in action would have to be none other than the notorious Miss Cynthia Greer, or we like to call Cynthia G. A former YouTuber personalities of Clark. For years, Cynthia G has been going about the YouTube and wandering social media courtside with her promise about how Black men at large were conquered by the white man, the white man, and made to be his bitch, and so on. And as if they were bad enough, Cynthia G, over roughly the past several years running, was allowed to say with impunity repeatedly that Black male babies need to be deleted. Retro. No, I'm going to make a correction. And this some Cynthia has be Mr. Obsidian gotta be careful. She was not talking about deletion of babies for the last 7 years. She was talking about deletion of babies in the last 2.5 years, because her main channel got excommunicated this year. She's been doing this now since end of 2021-ish up to 2020. So I would say roughly 2.5 years, maybe going 3. She's been pushing that message of, get rid of Black males from retro. It was only after the result of it exposed in a tech journal written by a white female journalist that YouTube was finally moved to ban Cynthia G from the platform entirely, with GoFundMe joining in not so thereafter. Oh, damn, she lost her GoFundMe? I gotta find that. I don't think she did lose her GoFundMe, but if they did, it's a possibility. While brothers in and around the Black manosphere celebrate her eventual and long overdue outburst, it was most curiously indeed that modern Black feminists, like the ones I mainly write about in this book page, remain as quiet as the proverbial grave, and that because at bottom these not so lovely ladies were in agreement with Cynthia G. Their platform's positions are the proof. Modern Black feminists is stomped down in support of women's rights to choose, and were no doubt up in arms over the U.S. Supreme Court decision overturn Roe v. Wade in the summer of 2022, and thus the sending of the matter back to the states to decide for themselves. And let's put a pause here. Also, the Project 2025 that was written by a few people from higher ups, few Democrats, few Republicans, and I can't give you the names because you can look them up if their names are present. They're the ones that structured this agenda in over 1,000 pages. And one has to deal with the deletion of babies. So regardless, you have a president called Mr. Trump or Ms. Harris. This agenda, if it does pass and it does be enacted, this was already laid out months, maybe years in advance. So don't be fooled that they put the spirit tactic that they're coming with some agenda. No, the agenda was already laid out years before you even thought about it. And it's going to be carried out one way or the other. So that's just a side note. All right. As noted elsewhere in this book, and I must reiterate, the Black Lives Matter, another outfit founded by modern Black feminists and supports by the one I discussed in this book, who hardly have a rather interesting take on the whether Black lives truly do matter, if they really do matter. Let's be honest. I say that because while BML was up in arms over white cops shooting Black men, real or image, see the excellence work of Harvard economist, what they call one working Roland Fryer, for example. They were in texts of support of Black women's deleting untold numbers of Black lives in the womb. According to a 2008 report by the Gut March Institute, Black women get a whopping 37% of deletions against white women's 34%. That might not sound like much until you include the fact that Black women make up roughly 13% of the nation's adult female population as early last year. According to the Gut Match Institution, this means that Black women are getting nearly 3 times as many, and I will say abortions, as their total number in the country. A staggering and sobering statistic. Rutgers University Center of American Women in Politics agreed, citing that Black women, by the numbers, match up about 15% of the adult female population of the United States personally, making the Black female deletion rate near 3 times their total population numbers. Either way you slice it, that quite a high number and has serious implications for political consideration. After all, when it comes to the political game, demographically is destined as the figuring Hispanic juggernaut is showing us all per the Affirmation Catalyst website analysis. Hispanic women are projected to grow in size from their current share of 18% of adult female population to 27% in the year 2060. Approximately 36 years from now, that same year, the Black women cohorts of the country will barely move 2 points of 15.2% exactly by the same. Yet more chilling corroborating evidence comes in the form of the document that was presented in the U.S. U.S. Congress in June of 2015, edited by Ms. Star Parks, edited by the effects of deletions of Black communities by the Center for Urban Renewal Education, CURE. The report says that the following on the disproportionate number of deletions in the country since Roe v. Wade. Disproportionately, the leading consumer of the abortionist service in the African American female, according to the 2011 deletion service report issued by the Center of Disease Control. Black women make up 40% of the childbearing population, yet obtain 36.2% of the report deletions. Black women have the highest deletion ratio in the country, with 474 deletions per 1,000 live births percentage. At this level, illustrate that more than 19 million Black babies have been deleted since 1973. Now, I remember a Cerulean did a stream on us, and he did the numbers back in 2021, I believe, or 2022, and he already concluded it was roughly slightly 10 to 8 million in total that we women in America for over 48 or 49 years that they delete roughly almost 10 million babies instead of whopping 19 million. Either or, when you start deleting babies, and let's say if the numbers are accurate, which I always question, because in war, in the art of warfare or any intellectual warfare, your enemy is never going to tell you how much babies or how many in population you have between him and you, because that gives power to give you numbers, so you got numbers. Now, do people use numbers if they're a majority? Not really, because you only need a small fraction to get everybody in line to make the whole other populations follow suit. You never get 90% of the population all in chorus. Never happened. Never happened. The most you're going to get is maybe 10 to 25% and maybe good 35%. And that's just numbers I'm just throwing out. You're never going to get close to 100%. Everybody on one chorus. Not possible. So I just want to add that. You read that right. Between the year 1973 to 2015, 7 years before the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, overturned Roe, there were nearly 20 million Black babies deleted. But wait, there's more. Parker report goes on in a greater detail, outline how none of this was an accident. According to the Department of Public Health of every state that reports deletions of ethnicities, Black women disproportionately leads in the number. For example, in Mississippi, 79% of deletions are obtained by Black women. In Washington, D.C., more than 6%. Georgia, 59.4%. Alabama, 58.4%. And states after states, similar numbers are found with Black women deleting at 2/3 or more times their presence in the population. At every income level, Black women have higher deletion rates than white or Hispanic, except for women below the poverty line, where Hispanic women have slightly higher rates. High rates than Black women. Lest anyone out there question any of this as just Black Republicans, what they call it, I got pro. Keep in mind that I started everything off with direct quotes from the very light, left-leaning, and pro-choice Guttmacher Institution, whose number aligns with the Cure report here and everything in between. Parker reports continues. The prevalence of deletions facilities within minority communities serve as a major contribution to the rate in which Black women obtain deletions. According to Black women, are 5 times more likely to have an deletion than white women. A recent study released by Protecting Black Lives and Outreach of Life Issues Institutions conclude that 79% of Planned Parenthood or surgical deletions facilities are strategically located in the walk of distance of Africans and or Hispanic communities. This study coincides with historical revelations that eugenists dating to the mid 1900s argued that the most effective way they could advance their agenda would be to concentrate population control facilities within target communities. In other words, the staggering number of deletions that have happened in the heyday of Roe v. Wade in Black America was no accident. Thanks to the rhetoric of modern Black feminists and their OG Black feminist aunties from yesteryears, Black America now appears to be demographically declining despite an overburst in the Black American numbers. This is largely because recent immigrants from the Black world, Africa, Caribbean, and so on, as well as the fact that the children of the first generation Black immigrants are now beginning to have families. But among ADOS Blacks, it will appear that our numbers are growing as quickly. Well, let me put a side note. What's going on first? Let me see what's going on here. I'm gonna put a side note here. The people that don't know. Black people, right? You come from Africa or from the West Indies or some parts of South America, you are still considered Black, right? You identify or not. Matter of fact, the ones that come here are either tan Black or dark Black. They just don't come here intermingle with most of their cultures, which they do, but they also intermingle with people that are Black already here in this country. So that also conflates numbers of growth of Black people in America. But the problem with this growth, you see this slightly boom of a growth, is that you're not dealing with people that are no longer considered ADOS. They are a different tribe within the ADOS community. Matter of fact, they wouldn't be considered ADOS no longer if they're blending in with someone that is from a different country that's Black. They have a different mindset and a different culture. So I want y'all to really think real long and hard on that one. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, let's keep going. None of these facts should came as any surprise to readers of these pages. Modern Black feminists, in the fact, anti-nuclear families, as I said both on the air and in my mini town hall style chat across social media. Black men and Black women are increasingly seeing things very differently, to the point that even everyday words like community, family, and once again, largely the same thing to both Black men and Black women are mean very differently things to either side today. Yet another manifestation of the so-called gender war, indeed. To what do you call it? Anecdote will serve to illustrate what I mean here. The first is in an election year appears of legendary rapper, actor, businessman, and activist Ice Cube on the Fox Soul Cocktail Week Queens program. Cube was beginning interviewed by the panel comprised of Claudine Jordan, Lisa Ray, Vivica A. Fox, that old beep, among others, all of whom demand to know what Ice Cube was going to do to ensure that the interests of Black women would be looked out for in his contract with Black America Plan. Stunned by the very nature of the question itself, Cube responded by saying that the very phrase Black people meant to encompass Black women, Black men, and Black children. But the panel were adamant that it did not, pointing out that Black women now constitute a special interest protecting minority group. The ladies insist on Cube carving out a special section in his contract, which Ice Cube did not do. And I'm glad he didn't do it. And how I know, because you go back, if you ask Ice Cube today, did he ever contract that bull crap to these stupid chicks? Absolutely not. Because most of them, they want to write. They want to write for him. They're lazy. 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 Very lazy. You want the Black man to do everything while you sit on your big, lopes, sloppy butt. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's not happening. Anyhow, the contract to specify single out Black women and their supposed special needs or specific needs. Ice Cube just sat there dumbfounded and continued shock as he stares into the camera from a privacy of his home. Indeed, I call that incident the red pilling of Ice Cube because he never witnessed up close and personal the kind of Black female effery that I routinely discuss on the live show, and the reality of modern Black feminists that he finally witnessed firsthand. The second anecdote comes by way of a spring 2020 article appearing on the Vox website, where it details the growing political rifts between Black men and Black women during the warring days of the Trump first term as putas. Although most Black men continue to vote Democrat, a growing share of Black men have peeled away for Trump and the GOP, and who hears to more traditional views of hearty home and family. Or that stuff where they talk about the patriarchy and negative stuff. These dumb chicks talk about. Black women, for their part, who voted for Democrat Party to the tune of near 1%, and our party most reliable voting blocs, consider such views to be patriarchal and attempts on the part of Black Republicans men to apes per activities of conservative white male, a true irony given the fact that Black women are notorious for the amount of time and money they spend in ridiculous attempts to ape the looks of white women. The Vox article below cites one Nadine Brown of Purdue University who said the following of the appeal Trump to a growing number of Black men. So why is the gender divided between Black women and Black men so stark when it comes to presidential politics? It is a complex question, and that Nadine E. Brown, an associate professor of political science at Purdue University and co-editor of Distinct Identities, Minority Women in U.S. Politics, told me has been largely understudied. Instead, she had scholars had tended to respond with mild curiosity. It's more of a how interesting. The Fox piece continues that this time citing Theodore Johnson and Lena Wrigley of Harvard University Kennedy School of Governmental of Appeal trumps to a growing share of black men. In a piece for a Atlantic in 2016, Johnson and Lena Riggers, an assistant professor of public policy at the Harvard Kennedy School of Government, wrote that black Trump supporters are likely to be working class or lower middle class black men over the age of 35, and interesting in alternative approaches to addressing what ails black America. Aiding these voters tends to be more receptive to core messages of self-determination, financial success as a function of hard work and personal responsibility, especially when conveying in the plain-spoken, hyper-masculine manner. 1 second. There's more, guys. All right. Let me look at something for you. Let's check something, guys. All right, let's continue. Nadine Brown agrees, and she states and writes, my take onto this is that there are things in the GOP ideologically that black men find appealing. The conservative ethnos of pulling yourself up by your bootstrap, asserting patriarchal and male dominance, all of these kinds of traditional gender values. Some black men find them very appealing. And Karen Finney, a CNN politician or political commentary and political consultant, says it may be that the disparities related to efforts to appeal to the for lack of better words, machismo, portraying Trump as the tough guy, which may resonate more with some black men and not black women who may worry more about the divestments. I get tongue-tied. I apologize. Black women, for their part, see things a lot differently, Fox says. And I think this is her words. I could be wrong. But black women are, as a group, highly entrepreneurial, making up one of the fastest growing segments of new business owners in America. No, you're self-employed. You have no employees. And and when I'm talking about self-employed, you got to employ more than just 1 or 2 people. You got to employ roughly, where I think the average is maybe a couple, 100, less than 100. And self-employed people don't employ people. They work for themselves. Let that sink in, people. Just let that sink in. And black women despise less traditional views on gender roles compared to black men, and white women and men are not informal liberal, meaning that logically the appeal of the conservative ethos, while applying to black women as well as black men, leading them to vote for conservative candidates or alternative not vote at all. But it doesn't. Not only do black women vote overwhelmingly for Democratic presidential candidates, they are also one of the most consistent voting groups in the nation, voting at a higher rate than any other group in 2012 and casting their ballots in numbers 6 points above the national average in 2018. More, Nadine E. Brown said during our conversation that, in general, black Americans are socially conservative but fiscally liberal. And for Black women, fiscal policies that impact healthcare or raising children are one they deal with or on a daily basis. Even if socially conservative ideology are what people hold in their hearts and practice in their homes. She argued that many Black women see themselves as having fate, a common outcome with other Black women, and might be unwilling to vote for policies that could harm others in their communities. And finally, Brown argues that Black women tend to be community caretakers, and their politics is shaped by the views that even if I am a financially well-to-do person, I'm still thinking about others in my community. According to polling conducted by the Institute for Women Policy Research, 80% of Black mothers are primarily earned in their families, while they're also taking on caregiving duties and enduring a great likelihood of encountering poverty in every racial group except Native American women. There is a lot more to the article, and it behoves the readers to check out the full and come to their own conclusions. But for me, it's pretty clear. The Democrat Party is a political wing among Black feminists. As such, it is no surprise at, in the least that it would function to enact their vision of what families and indeed what communities look like in real times and in actual motions. Remember, the Black Lives Matter manifesto, founded by three Black lesbians, about their desires to take down the patriarchy and with it the nuclear family. Now, you know, when they say take down patriarchy and nuclear family, they're talking about Black folks. But Black people are not really running and operate by patriarchal standards. Let's keep it real. If they did operate on patriarchal standards, most people are going to run straight to Mr. Charlie and be his little, you know what, be the bad witch for Mr. Charlie. Let's keep it real here. I ain't telling no lie. I'm not saying nothing that's lying. You know this. So it makes sense people that are lesbos gonna be fighting patriarchy, particularly Black patriarchy, with their, you know, licky selves. Nasty. Straight up nasty. Anyhow. Alright. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure required by supporting each other and extending families and village that cultivately care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. For many Black men, family means principally mother, father, sister, brother, while for an increased share of Black women, family means just about anything but mother, father, sister, brother, similar to the words community or communita. It has very different meaning to most Black men as it does to most Black women, and on it goes. Again, no surprise once you understand what modern Black feminism is all about. Indeed, going back to Part.4 report on abortion, in the summer of 2015, she gives powerful smoking gun evidence as to root of Planned Parenthood, the nation's largest deletion provide for decades and now, and how modern Black feminists have indeed been the cat paw of white supremacy. It is no accident that deletions have become so deeply entrenched within the Black community. Margaret Sanger, founder of the American Birth Control movement, was a leading spokesperson and activist and promoting of controlling the birth rate among Blacks and others she considered genetically inferior and avid support of eugenics. Sanger became a formidable force when pushing her Negro Project design to employ Black leaders to promote first birth control, later deletions as visible options for family planning. She favored the what they call Malthusian branch of eugenics, frequently saying that genetic makeup of poor minorities, for example, was inferior, meaning brown and Black people. We could say whites, but usually it's more focused on the darker or the colored people of the world. Sanger believes it was necessary to reduce the birth rate among the diseased and sickly, the poverty-stricken and antisocial class elements unable to provide for themselves, and the burden of which we are all forced to carry. For decades, the everyday black man, though, that black feminists were directly serving the interests of white racists, well, have much proof do you need. While the black master, however one may define it, continues to get tagged and scapegoat for being divisive, in truth, in the modern black feminists who get the nod, it is anti-black male, anti-black female, anti-black male, anti-black family, and the extension ultimately anti-black community and anti-black society itself, not in theory, but in actual practice. The nihilistic death cult handwork is on the wall for all to see, like that of the poisonous Miss Cynthia Greer, aka Cynthia G. And there's endnotes. Number one, Cynthia G is truly a piece of work, among other things. She wore what was obviously a press for white women style wigs and her seamlessly bald head, all while trying to talk pro. Oh God. Oh man. Oh man, you wrong for this, man. You wrong for this, bro. You wrong for this. Man, yeah, I didn't believe he was gonna put this in the chat. Oh God. Oh man, it's crazy, man. Y'all guys gotta pick up the book for real, man. Yeah. If anything, out of all things have I never promoted on my channel, this is a must get book. You gotta get this book. You gotta get this book out. I'm telling you, you gotta get it. All right. When that clearly didn't work after getting her start in the YouTube business by way of Dr. Boyce Walker, she went full anti-black male despite all of her dusty beta male rhetoric. In the end, she was ratted out by one of her own homegirls who got tired of Cynthia G's ranky hypocrisy. Another sign of modern black feminist programming, letting the world know that Cynthia has flown clear across the country to get knocked up by a bro who had 4 baby mamas. Make her a baby mama number 5, and you know that. Yeah. Mammies and 5 kids. Rumor has it that one of the baby mamas was white. I wouldn't be surprised. Shaking my head. I must be born in mind that all at that time of her long overdue outsters of YouTube in the fall of 2023, Cynthia Greer, Cynthia G in short, at a height of one of her main channels, she had like roughly over 150k subscribers. I think it was close to that. I think it was 140. It might be 150. There are politicians in this country who have smart constituents thinking about it, or constituents thinking about that. Number 2, channel call for deleting black pregnancy temporarily restricted by YouTube. Art Technica, October 11, 2020. And these are endnotes, so I'm not gonna read all the endnotes. It's not needed. You can get the book for that. Yeah, I guys get the book for that. So that's pretty much it, guys. It's a very interesting chapters we've gone through. Very interesting chapters. You might leave some comments on this one, guys. Chapter 6 through chapter 7. Something that you might have to go back to replay. If you like this book reading, give this video a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. And if you want to cuss me out and find it is full of crap, you know where to find it. You know where to respond in the comment section. The comment section gets more lively. Now I know this does not get much comments because let's be honest. Most consumers don't go through or past the first 10 minutes of any video. But if you survive to point to go through the whole stream, you're on your way of really absorbing and understanding any information that's been put on net. If you can't get through anything beyond 5 minutes or beyond a minute, you're in trouble, and that's your problem. So I like to thank everybody for listening to today's stream. Make sure you leave a comment. Oh, and please get the book for yourself. Get the book Toxic Femininity, Guide to Modern Black Feminism by Mumia Absin Ali. Was just released on the 6th of November 2024. You can get it on Amazon. And also, you can't get it on Amazon. You also can get it in BookBaby as well. Those links are in the description below. Thank you. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you. And for always, till next time, take care.